avoid seeing them. Like Smile for the Internet just gifted 5 subs. That allowed 5 people to no longer see the ads. So if you're lucky, pray to Allah, maybe you'll get a gifted sub. If you're not lucky, okay, and you're not getting a gifted sub, you can make your own luck by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime if you don't have $5 fucking dollars. Oh, sex workers and virgins, can they see eye to eye? We'll take a look at that later too. Thank you, Virgil GC, for the 5 gifted subs as well. And thank you, Barricade73, for the 10 gifted subs. Just the 1-minute ad break now. By the way, it's coming. Buffy Geek, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Alligator, Aiton Lee Shark, Anonymous, and Maydera gifting 5 subs. Listen, after all these gifteds, Nate Bailey, thank you for the 5 gifted. After all these gifteds, if you still haven't gotten one, you're not getting one. Okay, just fucking sub on your own. Chazgro with a 20 gifted. Bing bong. Let's see.
Y'all know what time it is. It's a big girl winner. I got all the heat you need. Holla at me. Let me ask you a question. Did you hear it was a big girl winner?
Man, it was a big girl winner all the time. I love my big girl.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't mean to alarm you, but it's a big girl winner. Fuck yeah. Listen, it's simple. It's a big girl winner. You don't need the coat no more. I'm all the warmth you need.
I want you for Christmas. What's up?
Hey, yo, Lizzo, I miss you, baby. Hit me up, you heard?
Is it always a big girl winter, or this year specifically it's a big girl winter?
It's been a big girl winter since 44 BC.
What was happening in 45 BC? Like, the fuck? Why specifically that year?
Let's go. Let me ask you a question. Is it a big girl winter?
I'd say so.
Big girl winter, watch out, coming crazy.
You going crazy?
I'm going crazy.
Loco. Can we back it up? Can we back it up? Come on, it's Christmas time. Miss Claus ain't got shit on me. That's what I'm talking about.
Bro, this is the most like alcoholic Santa gear I've ever seen. This shit's like straight dirty too. Oh my God. You feel like everything is fake now since they're so big? I mean, you think people are just like hyping it up because Side Talk is like popping off? That kind of makes sense.
Hey, yo.
Movie Mo.
It's Mr. Movie Mo. You already know. Mr. We East Harlem, baby. You already know how we doing this shit. You already know. When you see the beat is for beautiful, baby. It's for beautiful, baby. You already know I invented Paul rap, baby. We coming with the new genre. I said, listen. When I look at you here, spinning your mouth, your shit glisten. Fuck your mouth, do your thing, it's listen. Name another porn rapper that got drip like this. Huh.
That's right, that's drip. Thank you, Baron Strauss, for the 10 gifted, and thank you, Omega Lib, for the 10 gifted, and Erican Y for the 10 gifted. Holy shit. Pio Chutra for the 5 gifted.
I'll wait. Give me that shit. Give me that shit. Give me that shit. Give me that shit.
Do you have a celebrity crush?
Addison Rae. You already know, baby girl. Come to East Harlem. Come and do your little dance. Come and do your little dance for us.
Oh, what the fuck? Isn't Addison Rae like young as fuck? That's crazy. Pants the Goat, thank you for the 10 gifted.
Come and do your little dance for us, baby. I invented porn rap. I invented porn rap. I invented porn rap, baby. Fuck Hasanabi, fuck Henny. We drinking seltzer water, baby. You already know. Bing bong. Bing bong.
Random Gamer RW, you make it harder to not be racist these days, my man. What, you see fucking don't want to be called racist? How about just not only pulling over black people? People are never going to be past that? Wait, what? That is an insane take, dude. How the fuck did you just go from, you know, understanding police brutality to just being like, this shit's making me racist? That's so wild. I'm trying to give away a gifty boy, but our streamer picks out the negative racist take in the chat. Lamau. Bro, that's a bit of a self-report. I'm just letting you know. if you see, you know, a side talk video and you go, man, I'm becoming racist. That means like you were ready for it, you know? You need a little bit of course correction, my friend. Didn't mean that in a racist way. Sure, there are more videos like that out there, no matter the skin color. Okay. Deep thought, John. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Didn't mean that in a racist way. Why aren't we discussing the fact that Kevin Spacey didn't put out a weird, threatening video yesterday? Should have been item number 1 today. Yeah, because everybody was expecting it and fucking talked about it over and over again. And then that's what happened. He knew that people were waiting for it, so he just didn't want to do it. It doesn't have that oomph. That's what happened. You jinxed it, yeah. Can sex workers and virgins see eye to eye, middle ground?
My very first escort session, I had this background feeling that I was gonna feel like gross. And then I remember like I went through the session and I left and I was walking down the street with like a couple $1,000s in my pockets. And I was like, who exploited who here?
You know this shit's gonna pop off, dude. Also, I don't know why sex workers and virgins have like, they're not like natural enemies. I mean, I guess you could say like sex workers and incels. Like you can just be a fucking virgin and not be anti-sex work. So I find that like kind of odd that they pin sex workers against virgins. Virgins probably consume, when I was a virgin, I consumed the most sex work. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not a real dichotomy. This is not a dialectic. Okay? You got to have sex workers and swerves. Now, some swerves might be virgins, perennial virgins, or virgins because they're fucking involuntarily celibate because of their personalities. Okay? But it's not necessarily that, like, virgins are going to be like, oh, fuck sex work. Also, sex workers love virgins. It's like, you know, a big part of their clientele.
Step forward if you agree. I judge the other side.
It's hard for me to reconcile, unfortunately, like sex work as
This is pretty funny. Rudy, virgin. Lol.
like noble or something that it's necessary for society.
Totally understand. But also, one of the oldest professions is sex work. One of the things that almost every human does in the world is sex. So the idea that we actually do this for money.
Well, you're talking to one of them that hasn't done it. Okay, I'm just saying, brother.
Isn't too far out of the ordinary, you know? My dad was a pastor. So it's like, understand, I didn't grow up in an idea where like sex work was okay. But I did grow up in an idea where it's like, I want to learn, I want to experiment. And one of the things I wanted to always learn about was what my body does. So like, what made you decide, what put you in a place where you decided, is it a religious? Or
Yeah, so it's definitely a Jesus thing. Like, yeah. Jesus is my Lord and Savior, and so I totally believe that that part of me is something to
Bro, I mean, I'm sorry, but
share it intimately with the person I'm choosing to spend my life with.
Can I ask the disagreeers to step forward?
I don't judge you. I just don't understand why you would give people access to your body in that manner, which opens you up to so many more risks with like STDs, pregnancies, all that stuff. I could not do that. That is not me.
Okay, here's a good example for that. It's
Okay.
like, my other job is doing stunts. I light myself on fire.
this dude's fucking awesome. What the fuck? He's like a sex worker and he's a stunt guy. I love this man.
Is there a risk to that?
Yes.
But it is an educated risk because I know exactly what I'm doing and I know how long to burn and I know what's going on. Same thing with sex work. These are all educated risks that we take.
That is our job. Our body is what we use for our job, so we take care of it. We get tested, we take care of our health. You know, we are very, very adamant about that.
But I just cannot get on board with our bodies being a product all the time.
But isn't that how every job is?
Oh, interesting. Listen, dude, people shit on sex work and then they sell their fucking soul. Not just their physical body, but their soul to the American government, okay? People be like, there's no honor in sex work, and then they go and sign up for the American military. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? It's all a matter of perspective and social conditioning. It is infinitely worse to do the other thing, okay? Straight up. Get the fuck out of here, dude. What do you mean what? Sex work, if you're fucking consensually doing sex work, okay? You're just providing a fucking awesome service. You know, you're making people happy. Military, on the other hand, is an unfortunate fucking poverty draft-backed way of allowing middle class and poor families to have maybe a crumb of upward social mobility, okay? And even in most cases, you don't even get that. And that upward social mobility only comes when you fuck your entire body up. Okay, you're riddled with fucking PTSD. In many instances, you have way worse shit than just PTSD, even though PTSD is horrible to begin with. Okay? It's terrible. So you can get a fucking communications degree. It just sucks. Comes in the form of a Camaro, to be honest. Yeah.
When I was working in retail, my body was a product. I'm lifting heavy things. I'm working in, weird, nasty work conditions. I'm getting injured. Like every job I've had has required physical labor of my time and body, and I'm required to be there.
We all sell our body, just depends on what part.
I mean, but sexual selling is very different from what I do, which is
Exactly, which is the only difference is sex. So every argument against sex work unironically goes away from the work aspect, even though everyone wants to talk about the work aspect of sex work, but it's actually just the sex. The sex is what you're hyper focusing on. And that's it. That's the whole point.
It's like working as a nurse in a hospital.
But you're selling your time, your physical ability, your knowledge, and your emotion, because that
when you're a nurse, you're literally scooping up poop from, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not an honorable profession or anything like that, but you're straight up fucking like emptying out colostomy bags and shit. You think that that's not hard labor? You think that that's not like in some ways fucking dehumanizing or whatever? You know what I mean? It straight up is. It's necessary, and it's a wonderful thing that nurses do. This guy said, what? Oh, yeah, just don't build a military to beat Hitler law military bad. Yeah, notice how the only fucking reference that you could have used as a justifiable and honorable military action was, 1940 fucking 2. It's an old meme. Homie pulled out like when it had to go all the way back. You know what I mean?
It's very draining on your mental health. We're doing the same thing, except we're just showing nudity and pleasure. I'm Nathan Bronson. I am 32. I am a sex worker, and almost 100% of that is doing porn. When I was younger, I had girls tell me I was very terrible in bed and I had a small penis. I wanted a challenge. I always like doing things that not a lot of people can do. I want to be able to prove that I can do it.
So how the fuck did he get a big penis? What the fuck?
So that's why I got it.
Sex work can make the world a better place.
Does he have a big penis? I don't know.
I'm a prostitute, and I've had so many clients. I had one guy whose wife had died, and he'd only been with her his whole life. And she had just died like a year ago, and he was like, I don't know how to date again. He
is a small PP king? What a fucking legend, dude.
Didn't want to get into the emotional part where he was like interwoven with a new person. And so as baby steps, like he came and saw me as an escort. Or there was another guy who was dying of cancer. And he was like, I'm not in a position where I can get laid on my own. and I don't want to die without experiencing intimacy with another person. And I got to be that for him. And just like last year, I looked him up and I found his obituary. Oh. Those encounters are what make the job valuable to me, because like, this is not just like a casual physical experience, right? Like this is, you're touching somebody's soul, and I am so thankful to have been allowed the opportunity to help the men that I've helped like that.
Oh shit, it's Ayala. You've seen her? I have. What have I seen her in?
Sometimes I get
no
the
idea.
feeling that we save lives. Someone having a bad day, a man might want to be a little violent, but instead, you know, he goes to the strip club, or he watches a little porn, or he, you know, spends time with a provider, and that brings him down and it levels him out, and he gets that intimacy that he's missing.
I have a suspicion that we save marriages. Like, I saw so many husbands who were like, my wife hasn't touched me in 6, 10, 15, 20 years. And like, I need sexual outlet. And like the fact that they can get it with an escort, like preserves the marriage. Otherwise they would leave the wife, and the house and the kids and everything would explode. It's like a controlled release.
I got thoughts.
Okay, so I did want to address the idea that you said that you having sex with a husband saved the marriage. I don't believe that's even possible. How can adultery save a marriage?
Like, my perception is that this is like an inadequate Band-Aid to cover a wound that doesn't have another way to heal. And so I'm not saying it's great. I'm saying, yeah, you're correct in your criticism. I would not like to be in a marriage where this was happening without my knowledge. But like, I do suspect that the alternative is the destruction of the marriage.
I'm gonna share something. So I looked at porn when I was in 8th grade, and just kind of hearing, it's crazy.
Stop it, Jake. Cleanse yourself, my friend.
I'm getting like a frustration, because I'm like, oh man, because it really put me down a bad spiral. And I just started thinking about myself. I started thinking about women really inappropriately. It's because like porn puts this idea in our mind and kind of scares us. I think it scares guys away from actually talking to women, actually.
Yeah, I also want to like validate the fact that pornography like can cause these effects in people. Like, some people watch porn and they have like a really negative reaction, or like it causes you to feel like this objective.
Bro, porn is the only kind of cultural consumption that everyone consistently assumes has to have an educational capacity. Like, no one's like, man, I watched Marvel movies and I thought like I could fly. Okay? It's so stupid. Now, liberals try to do that for other kinds of cultural consumption too. But it's so fucking stupid. It's like an idiotic take. Oh yeah, I played video games and that's why I'm fucking violent. And like, shot up a fucking school or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it's not. Your Coomer takes are absolute best ones, my man. Yeah. Now, like, the real problem there is the sex ed. Fix the fucking sex ed. Fix the power imbalance between men and women. Porn is not sex ed. It's just not. It has the capacity to open up different avenues in your brain that you may not have been exposed to otherwise because of how repressed your point of view is. And it also has like the capacity to straight up, like, I'm not one of those like fucking weirdos on Tumblr, like the ones that go way too far and they're just like fucking constantly discussing their kinks, and like on TikTok too. I'm definitely dialed way the fuck back in comparison to that. And I think that area can sometimes be a little too much, and that maybe we can kink shame a little bit. Okay. Just a little bit, just a tad bit. But ultimately, expecting like fucking porn to be a substitute for sexual education is insane. That's not what it's supposed to be about at all.
Of women that you don't want to experience. And I think it's like really important to like acknowledge that and be like, yeah, maybe some people just shouldn't watch porn. Like, maybe it's bad for them.
I was watching an interview the other day with Angela White, another porn star, and she said this thing that just fucking blew my mind, where she was like, you know, we don't watch Fast and the Furious to learn how to drive. We don't watch porn to learn how to have sex and intimacy. Porn is entertainment.
That's so hard though, because so many people watch it. If that's the avenue they go towards, that's what they're gonna learn from, and then they're
But
going
again,
down a bad
now
path.
you're still splitting that path of like, because we're having sex on camera, it is entertainment.
What would be your solution to be like, if you do have those unsuspecting audiences, like, is there an advisory? Is there something that says?
Chat being like pre-watch is a meme at this point, but like I've talked about this a million times on this stream alone. So
because it doesn't matter what you do, people are going to find it. Now, what I think, better education, better parents, better teaching, because when it really comes down to it, me doing this job and being chastised for doing something that as an adult that I want to do and I want to strive to do better is a completely different thing.
I'm rude.
my favorite is the person who says you cannot compare video games and porn. Why? Because you enjoy the consumption of one and you enjoy the consumption of the other, but you're embarrassed about the second one. Why not? You absolutely can. Or you can compare porn to all other kinds of movies and shit.
Rudy, I'm a virgin, and I believe sex is a beautiful thing that God made for two people. I view the sex industry as something very taboo and full of people who may or may not have had a different choice or thought of a different option to provide themselves a better life.
God cares about our sex lives.
I believe that God created sex. Like, we are all sexual beings. I mean, unless you're asexual, I guess. But sharing that with one person for the rest of my life, like, that is so appealing to me, because then I feel like I can, like, give.
Bro, that's weird as fuck. This idea that God cares about your sex life is so weird. Like, he's just there, bro. He just fapping. Got a weird fucking kink. You know what I mean? God's into it. He's watching you all the time. That turn you on a little bit? I don't know. Also, sex between two people? Great. Wonderful. Sex between three people? Excellent. 10/10. Would recommend.
My fullest self to them, and I would hope that they want to do the same with me.
I feel like God is involved, and that's why people thought I was crazy when I said, yeah, I want to be actually praying on my first time. People thought I was crazy, but there's emotion, there's so much more than just action. That's gonna be so good.
And I don't mean the third man is God.
I used to be very Christian. I was homeschooled.
Girl, same.
Homeschooled, yeah. Yes. My dad's a professional evangelical debater who has a radio
like
show
an
and writes
apologist?
books. Yes,
Oh,
he's a
God.
Christian apologist. Yeah, I was raised, no kissing, don't hold hands. I was like, till marriage, like absolutely. But there was a sense of like, this sexual act is really elevated. Like a lot of it from my frame is that we're like sort of participating in a social ritual where we all like give this act like a huge amount of power, which is like not my deal, but I really resonate with like the strength that can hold.
So
I'm gonna be honest, if you're praying to God during sex, something really good or something really bad is happening, okay? So many of you made fun of the dude for saying that, but sometimes something really good is happening.
I also grew up Catholic and, grew up in my Catholic shame bubble. I would masturbate and then cry myself to sleep and be like, God hates me and I'm going to hell. I don't know, man. I just kind of opened my eyes to the world and was like, you know what? People are out here raping. They're out here murdering. They're out here doing some crazy ass shit, and this world is fucking awful. I don't think God is down, looking down on the world and seeing all that and going, God damn it, Avery's sucking a dick again, like another check, like she's gone, I'm like, no.
Are you at all worried that by creating porn and all that stuff is feeding into a very real addiction that a lot of men suffer with?
So
Most men
the difference
don't
there
want
is
it.
with like the mainstream porn that I do, Yeah, it can be hella skeezy. They give you skeezy, storylines and stepmom this and step this, and it gets real skeezy, But then when you take it to the other side of the porn, I can put out the product that I want to. I can help educate people. I can put out ethical porn because I'm making it. My name is Avery.
Classic. Porn is only made by women for the male gaze and male consumption. Always remember, porn is only made by women. There are no men in porn. And even if they are in porn, they're doing the fucking, so they're bad. And it's only for cishet men, white cishet men to watch.
I am 27 years old and I am a sex worker. It's weird because I grew up super, super religious and, used to give chastity talks at church and chastise my friends for being sexual. But I actually find that I'm not as bitter towards my religion anymore since I started this work, because somehow it's kind of reconnecting me to it in a way. Just seeing that and hearing from people that I'm putting good out into the world and I'm making the world a better place and I'm making people feel joy and happiness.
I've had trouble in romantic relationships.
My fiance does not do sex work, she's only slept with, I think, 13 people, right? Which to me, that's...
He's like, that's so little. For me, that's a lot.
I mean, before I got into the industry, I was over 100 something. So it's a crazy number to me. It's always a very strange thing trying to keep this relationship going.
Only 13? 13 is low, man, especially if you're like, I mean, look, everyone has a different number, don't worry, but like, 13 is not that high, chatters. Self-reporting on this holy day. Okay? Not. I promise. People be like, average lifetime is 6. It depends, okay? It depends on who you're hanging out with, what they're up to. I'll just say 13 is not that high. It's not. Thanks, dude. Depression restore. Wait, what the fuck do you mean? Why are you depressed one way or the other? When I hear so many people talk about 13 being like such a high number, I realize that maybe this community is not as gay as I thought it was. For the record, like, when I hear people in the community be like 13 is incredibly high, I'm like, damn, a lot of you are straight as fuck, I think. What the fuck? Hey, this is a hot privilege thing, I think, bro, but I'm as queer as you think the community is. For the record, you can have 0, you can have 1, you can have 100, you can have 500. It doesn't fucking matter. Confidence and happiness comes from within. Stop relying on external validation to constantly fucking meet a metric and to constantly feel better about yourself or feel sad about yourself. Because ultimately, if you over rely on external validation and external numbers and how other people judge you, you are always going to be sad, okay? Always. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In my experience, though, yes, 13 is not a super high number. Actually, I would consider it to be a low number. But that doesn't mean anything. It's not a bad thing. Okay? Let's keep going.
In the sense of like what I do, because even it's just their egos, and she has to see me with younger women all the time, and it sometimes hurts her, you know, but it's like just a lot of communication. And
For me, I am currently in a relationship, and the guy I'm dating, he is actually not a Christian. So I had to have that conversation with him beforehand, like that because of my religious beliefs, I'm not going to have sex until marriage. He's not only honored it, but he supported it. But it does make it difficult because it's like I want to make him happy, he wants to make me happy, and that struggle of like I guess fighting against our flesh is going to be a little harder. I don't want anyone to see my naked body until they're my husband.
The fact that you can't understand that some people would feel bad because you said 13 is low shows your hot privilege. Did you not hear anything else I just said and as a follow-up to that, or no? What happened? Folk clicks on your stream at a perfect time.
If you can hear someone typing with a Shure microphone, it's not correct. It's not correct. Look at Hassan. Look at Hassan. You can't even hear him breathing. You can't even hear him. Like it's quiet. Listen.
Does he have a big penis? I don't know.
I'm a prostitute.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. The perfect timing. Oh, no. Oh.
I haven't seen you naked.
No.
Oh, really? Wow. Sorry, being naked is just such a, I just walk around naked. It doesn't, how long have you guys been dating?
What a Chad.
It's been a few months.
It was like 3, 4?
Yeah, around that.
Good for you, girl. Keep that pussy on lock.
A lot of people think that we are anti-sex or not sex positive. I don't think that's true at all. I know that I'm a very sexual person. I cannot wait to explore that sexual side of myself with my husband, but that is something that I want to restrict to just one person, and that's how I want to explore that sexual side of me.
I'm just happy to be here.
I don't have a romantic issue with my virginity because they kind of, they admire kind of what I do or my self-control, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
Restraint is hot.
Huh?
Restraint is hot.
Question.
LGBT plus does not have more sex by virtue of being LGBT. Man, you sound real sexless right now. How about you shut the fuck up, okay? I'm clearly making a fucking joke. And it's not like, that's the type of joke that you make when you are living in literally homosexual Mecca for most of your goddamn life. And a lot of your friends are gay. Okay? You're making a joke, not like a repressed psychotic televangelist being like, homosexuals are degenerate. Do you not know what my point of view is? Do you not know what my take is on having multiple partners or having sex all the time as much as you want? Shut the fuck up.
Have you had women who definitely not virgins, maybe not even Christian, come after you because they know you're a virgin? They're trying to steal that card?
Yeah.
And how hard do they push?
It's pretty hard.
I've never been in a circumstance where I had somebody I wanted to date who did not want to date me because of my job, ever.
Really?
Ever. Because the kind of filters I have in place, like by the time we get to the point where I want to date them, like if they've passed all the other criteria that I have, by that point, all of them are just totally fine with sex work. I don't like people who are possessive at all. I'm very polyamorous. In the normal world, is that people don't date each other because of sex work, but that's just not the reality I live in.
See, that's my reality. I have a hard time with romantic relationships because, well, I'm a sex worker, and not only am I a sex worker, but outside of work, I self-identify as a whore. Like, I just like to have sex, and I like to experience as many people as possible. And when I do find someone that I'm interested in for romantic relationships, that's the package deal. You know, I tell them, like, look, I want to be with you, and I want to be in a relationship with you, and I care about you a lot, but I also need to be a slut and have sex with people who aren't you sometimes. I've tried dating, like, other porn performers, and you know, even that gets murky because even with our jobs, jealousy is still a thing. So, you know, I'll be dating a porn star who knows that I'm a porn star, and then they hit me with the, hey babe, I think like maybe you should just start doing like content with girls. Yeah, just do girl, and like maybe threesomes with me and other girls, and like that's it, and change your branding. And I'm like, so you started this romantic relationship with me knowing exactly what the is down, like who I am, what I do, what I'm about, and you thought that, oh, let me just like wait a few months and then I can like change. You're like, okay, great.
I enjoy masturbation.
Hey,
Damn.
Do you feel guilty?
I think in the beginning, because I
She's
didn't know
fucking
what I was doing
fapping,
and, like,
dude. She's
what I felt
fapping
about it.
hard.
The problem is, like, the Bible doesn't say
Let's
anything about
go.
masturbation. So you're always like,
Damn, she found a carve out for masturbation in the Bible, dude. That's right. Get it, dude. Fucking get it. I mean, I fapped more when I was virgin than not. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. Oh my Lord, I was fapping.
this is the world of gray. And then.
But religion says something about masturbation. So, like, does your religion say anything about masturbation? Is nothing?
It's more about like generalized sexual immorality. So I didn't feel like masturbation was immoral of me. Like I felt like, oh, this is just me getting to know my body and what I like, and then hopefully pass it along to a great guy.
Yeah, I remember when I was Christian and I was trying to figure out if I should masturbate. I would like consult the Bible quite a lot. I would like Google, you know, like, is it okay to masturbate for women? And there was no resources for women at all. It was like, men have to control their lusts. And I felt like a crazy pervert because I'm like, oh, I have all these urges that women apparently don't have. I ended up deciding that, okay, lust is a sin, but the masturbation itself isn't. So that if I engaged in the physical act without like having any sort of mental process going on, then that would be okay by God.
I'm surprised that you.
Oh, I got answers. I got answers.
I like that in her mind, generalized sexual immorality does not actually, you know, feature what she doesn't feel uncomfortable doing. Like she's been able to recognize that there is a little bit of a gray area there, and that gray area can be ever expansive. She's only allowed to expand it to, you know, fapping. She has a healthy attitude towards it, respect, yeah, but like, you know, expand on that a little bit further and you'll have an even healthier attitude, in my opinion.
Things is because I have to save my load to use at work, which is a little graphic, but that's really what it is. So one of the things I have to do, because I'm doing 2 scenes a day, so I can't jerk off. I can barely have sex with my fiance most of the time because I'm doing the job. I'd much rather take that time, go give pleasure to someone else and actually see that look on someone's face that I get.
By the way, these are the nicest fucking virgins, which is why I originally said, like, sex workers and virgins are not in a contentious relationship with one another. Okay? Incels and sex workers, or swerfs and sex workers, are in a contentious relationship with one another. You can be a virgin and a swerf. You can literally be a sex worker and a virgin. Okay? Swerfs are sex worker exclusionary radical feminists who believe that sex work is immoral, sex work is exploitative inherently, and like a different kind of exploitation than all other kinds of work under capitalism. There's a lot of Marxist-Leninist anti-sex worker people out there who, you know, will always use the victims of sex work in the past. That is not even sex work. It's not usually it's not actually fucking consensual. So it's not sex work. It's like sex trafficking. They use that to say sex work, even if it's consensual among adults, is actually still bad because the lines are blurry. All this other stuff, and virgins are sex workers in the making. I mean, it just like doesn't matter. Wait, why are you guys throwing up question marks? You can be a virgin and still a sex worker. Sex work doesn't mean you have to get fucked on camera. You could literally just like, you know, play with your pussy, or as a male sex worker, you just jerk off on cam. So whenever you see, or be a stripper, you know what I mean? You can have an OnlyFans and still be a virgin. So the problem is, like, people always conflate what sex work is with what sex work isn't. Sex work is not sex trafficking. Sex work has to be consensual, okay? Done consensually by adults. So that's the main problem here.
Gave them an experience.
I would totally disagree with the idea that
Prominent Marxists have always written about how prostitution is exploitative. It always increases when economic stability decreases. You can support them without acting like it's not exploitative. Shaking my head. Every kind of work under capitalism is exploitative. And sex work is no different than that. But the problem with anti-sex work rhetoric done by Marxist-Leninists and all these other fucking kinds of people is that the issue is they hyper-focus on sex as though it's like singled out and different than other forms of work under capitalism. But if someone is consensually engaging in this act, then it's not. And it can be even less exploitative than other forms of work under capitalism. Most sex workers who enjoy doing what they do will openly tell you that. I know a lot of sex workers who are like, I'm a whore. I love fucking. I love being a slut. Okay? So why not make money out of doing precisely that? That is significantly better to do than having to work at fucking McDonald's. Like, if that's what you love doing and you can make a decent amount of money off of it, then why wouldn't you do that? Okay? Alienation, come on. Yeah, you literally have less alienation from your labor if you're doing sex work on OnlyFans and you actually, like, see the fruits of your labor. You realize the fruits of your labor. You get, you have less of a fucking profit that is extracted from your surplus labor value that goes to a boss above you. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I thought this was going to be fun. That was my least favorite part of communism talk. And keeping a layer of repressive ML against sex workers. The fuck are you smoking? This little red tanky? To be a young Marxist-Leninist, only learning about Marxist-Leninism through memes on the internet and not recognizing that, yes, 200 years ago, a lot of fucking Marxist-Leninists and prominent thinkers were expressly anti-sex work. Yeah, dude, totally. I love when, like you know, Marxist-Leninists will be like, I love when fucking there's like MLs on the internet who think like Marx would be pro-trans and pro-sex work. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, of course that's not the case. What are you, crazy? Are you nuts? But who cares? Anyway, the point I was going to make is, if you are worried about the exploitation and harm that sex workers experience, the literal worst thing you can do is further marginalize them. Okay? Like, the way I think about it is like an actress, okay? It is a field that is incredibly difficult to get into. There's a lot of nepotism in it, okay? But once you're done being an actress, okay, if your career falls apart or whatever the fuck, or you no longer want to do it anymore, you don't have to live with that stain for the rest of your life. Okay? Like, as if it's a bad thing. And you have to hide that part of your identity to be able to get meaningful employment. Sex work, on the other hand, does not have that. You do sex work once and boom, automatically. First of all, even when you're in the process of doing sex work, the financial methods available to you to like save your the capital that you generate is extremely limited. The attitudes that people have towards you change dramatically. This is all a consequence of people who have consistently marginalized sex workers for centuries. Okay? It's a very, very difficult career to transition out of. And that further stigmatizes sex work, and it works in favor of people who, you know, why do you confuse Marxist-Leninists and Marxists? I don't. Because one, at the very least, understands the practical application of Marxism, okay? That's why. So I'm being nice to the Marxists. Shut the fuck up. Let's keep going.
That
you did not just say that? Yeah, I did. I did say that.
masturbation isn't sin. I feel like there's something that happens. I don't know. Like it's just so hard to explain because it's so.
I want to ask, like, what is it like to you about touching your own body, that and you know, making yourself feel that type of pleasure? What makes that a sin?
But it's like with me, I just see that God is so high and mighty that. Like the reason why maybe I keep on messing up, because there's moments of I'm sexting, I'm doing things, and you're like, what? How would you do that? But the thing is, it's like, yeah, I mean, and the thing is understanding that like,
someone can buy someone else's consent if they're desperate enough. No, that would not be consent. First of all, there's such a thing as enthusiastic consent, okay, and just straight up unenthusiastic consent or consent in general. You engage in unenthusiastic consent on a daily basis when you're doing your job. Sex workers, at least the ones I've talked to about this, and this is like super high level consent talk, which sex workers engage in because they're in the forefront of this conversation, debate on this matter regularly. I don't want to have this conversation with Chad, who literally freaked the fuck out when the guy said 13 sex partners is actually really low. So I don't think this is like the conversation that we should be having today. It's a little bit too high level for us to have this conversation on Twitch of all fucking places on Christmas. We're not going to do that. We're going to continue.
I'm not God, but also understanding that like I want to be more Christ-like. Yeah, progress in my faith.
Do you masturbate?
Are you advocating for lol? Are you advocating for unenthusiastic consent? No, I'm not advocating for unenthusiastic consent. I'm just simply stating that this is like a conversation, a very high level conversation about consent that sex workers engage in on a daily basis. Okay, I've even talked to what's his face? Can't remember. No, he's an anarchist too. Fuck, whose podcast was I on? Anyway, let's just keep going.
Yes,
we'll talk about it later.
I have, yes.
Do you do it regularly?
There's moments where it's about probably once a month.
Not Xander.
What do you guys do when you feel those impure thoughts and you think about it and you want to masturbate because that's your direct correlation to what you're doing?
I call a friend and kind of like, because the thing is,
You got
like,
a friend like that? That's
Do you tell your friends why you're calling them? Or do you just call for distraction?
I call, well, it's calling, kind of be like, hey, this is happening right now. I need some prayer because this could get bad. This could be bad because it's like and it's really unhealthy. It's very unhealthy of me.
And if you're in a good church community, you have prayer warriors, and that helps immensely, no matter what.
Yes, it was Connor Habib. Damn, ripping Zach. You're fucking on it, baby. That's right. It was Connor Habib.
You may be struggling with.
Being a virgin has shaped me in a way of separating myself from the rest of the pack. So I stopped watching porn based off of a flick that I watched. That just made me just stop completely. I like intimacy, and I've realized that porn doesn't give me the intimacy that, I'm searching for.
The sex industry is sexist.
The sex.
Okay. To say that the sex industry is not sexist is fucking ridiculous, okay? Every industry is sexist. Of course the sex industry is going to be sexist as well. Why the fuck is she standing behind? Why is he standing behind? That's even weirder. What kind of take does he have that he's like, yeah, it's actually not. The most understanding anti-sex work Andy over here.
Sex divide is way different in our industry. Women get paid a lot more.
It's actually, the sex industry is I think it's one of like 2 industries in the world where women make more than men.
Yeah.
Everyone's objectified, kind of, because the men y'all are reduced to your penises.
Oh, yeah,
No one even really knows who the men are, but I know so many people who recognize penises. You know, we have to cater to these fantasies for fans, and there are sadly a lot of, it's a broad reflection of how the world is. And out in the broad world, there's a lot of men who want to see women get beat and had sex with brutally and like, you know, just brutally taken, and that's what they
That's
want.
where I'm thinking the sex industry is sexist, because women in general and the different aspects of the sex industry, I feel like are viewed as less than.
They are. And for me, the one like turnaround of it though is where we take our power back. We enjoy, you know, filling out those fantasies and those role plays to take power over it. The other night I was having sex with a man, and he's like having sex with me, and he puts his foot on my face and is like stepping on me while he's having sex with me. And you see your face. My face, I was in heaven. I was there like trying to lick his feet, and I was just like, this is hot to me because I get to explore this in a safe manner that is controlled by me.
See, that's not for me. I don't understand. Like, I just like, dude, as much as I'm open-minded, I am really fucking vanilla, dude. Straight up. Like, that stuff, like degrading kinks, like, I don't get it. I like, it's not for me. I just can't do it. I feel bad. You know what I mean? It's like, you at least hair pull? Yes, of course. When I said, no. My basic package is still, you know, there's a lot more involved in that. But like, my foot on your face, like, that's just not for me. You know what I mean? I can't. 2 leftists? No, it's just, look, first of all, she just admitted, as this lady just admitted, like, there are plenty of fucking girls who love that shit. Okay? But maybe you're a sub? No, definitely not. Definitely not. But I don't know. I just can't, like, I can't do some of the degradation or degrading things. This is embarrassing to admit, probably, but I've actually never spat on someone. Like, I've never spat in someone's mouth or anything like that. I've never done that. Like, I've engaged in striking when they've asked for it, and I didn't like it too much. You know what I mean? Other than like ass slapping, I consider that to be different. But I've never actually spat in someone's mouth or anything like that. Bro, that's gross. Why would you do that? Dude, that's like a kink. People like that. People like, you know, being dominated. You just said that to like 29,000 virgins? That's not embarrassing? No, choking is normal. It's a part of the basic package. Good, because that's disgusting. Okay, but that's not, it just means it's not for you. Spitting is weirder than putting your foot on them, you weirdo. Really? Sex stream. Pog you. What do you say to MLs that say porn is needed only because capitalism has destroyed the formation of true relationships? What the fuck does that mean? What is a true relationship, dude? If I want to fucking hear about a true relationship, I sure as fuck am not going to hear about it from a bearded incel from 200 fucking years ago either, okay? Do we know what a fucking true relationship is? Like, They're just trad. That's it. When someone says shit like that, that just means they're trad. Okay, that's it. And don't get me wrong. Like, I've tried open relationships. I've been in, like, obviously monogamous relationships as well. That's what I routinely go for, and I enjoy probably monogamous relationships more than open relationships. I guess technically, if you would consider like me being single and mingling to be an open relationship, a continuous string of open relationships because of communication, then technically I've done that for a lot longer than I've done like monogamous relationships. But like, still, it's just everyone is trying different things all the fucking time. You don't know what the fuck works for you. I think it's like so silly to assume like marriage is supposed to be the ultimate goal in between a man and a woman and blah blah blah. Like, you just like, you don't know. The only consistency there is you just got to chase after what you enjoy. Explore your body, explore other people's bodies, you know, do different kinds of things. And the other consistency is the top of the hour ad break, you know? Like, consistently at the top of the hour, I'm going to serve you a 60-second ad break. Now, if you want an uninterrupted ad-free experience, you know, where the commentary keeps flowing, then all you need to do is subscribe. You can maybe get a fucking gifted a gifted subscription, and that way you can avoid the ads. If you're lucky. If you're not, if you have been a bad boy, a naughty boy, got coal in your stocking, and you're not getting a gifted sub, then you have to make your own luck by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. That's just how this works, you know? All the naughty boys. Have you ever done a milking table kind of deal? No, I have not. You feel like sex was more fun, enjoyable when it was new and where you were in your teens, early 20s, or have it become more enjoyable later because of the acquired experience and also being with better, more experienced partners? 31-year-old virgin here with FOMO and depressed of having missed my sex peak years. What? First of all, absolutely not, dude. Oh my God. It's fucking awesome that you're 31 fucking years old and you're still a virgin. You're going to experience it for the first time ever. That's dope. Okay. It's different kinds of pleasure. You know, it's really cool when it's like fun, new, and interesting. But then also on top of that, it gets better as well through time, especially if you have a long-term committed partner. That's usually where it's the best. I'm going to be honest, straight up. But you can have some fucking dirty, nasty, on the spot, you know, one night stands that are just fucking incredible as well. Thank you, DND Moon 505 for the 5 get the subs. But yeah, you're definitely there's no such thing as like you missed your sexual peak or anything like that. As a gay dude, I always forget how sheltered heterosexuals are. I think my sex life is normal until I tell a straight person about it. Hey, listen, I was making a joke about that literally earlier, and someone, probably a straight, got very offended at me, or a Midwestern gay got very offended at me for literally making that exact same thing as a joke, saying that exact same thing as a joke. Midwestern gays are like straights. Have you done race play? No. Dude, I just said I can't do fucking degrading. I mean, that's not true. I mean, it depends on like layers of degrading. Like I have come on many faces, and I don't have a problem with that. Some people consider that like a part of degrading kinks. I love that. Don't have an issue with that. But I can't just be like, I don't know. I'm not very good with vocals, okay? So race play would be truly outside of my bounds of comfort. Because that's like the ultimate degrading. You know what I mean?
Like, of course porn is designed for men. It's not because, like, where we don't like women, it's because men are visually stimulated and like way more likely to spend money on porn. This doesn't feel like an issue to me. This feels just like the natural like way that we are. Like I remember when I had my very first escort session where I had sex with my first man for money. Going into it, I was super nervous because I'm like, I had this background feeling that I was gonna feel like gross or like violated or exploited in some way, like a little bit of a fear. And then I remember like I went through the session and I left and I was walking down the street with like a couple $1,000s in my pocket because I charged very high rates.
You are too big and eat too much. Woman is tired to make you so much food. That's why you can't get a real and long relationship. Hasanabi, sorry, sad emoji. You have to go vegan or something. At least try it. Hasanabi, even your dick works better when vegan.
And I was
Have you ever experimented with any of your partners? Of course I've experimented with my partners. What the fuck do you mean? What do you, it's like that's the point, dude. God. Fucking microphone. Holy shit, it's annoying. Why wouldn't you experiment with your partners?
was like, who exploited who here? Like, I feel incredible, and
Respect.
I remember feeling
Respect.
I remember feeling like angry at society. I was like, why did they tell me this would feel bad? I feel so good. And it's like, at that point, it's like, I don't know, when we talk about like sexism in the industry, you could very easily argue it goes the opposite way. I grew up in a very...
If Dua Lipa wanted to race play against you for being a turd, would you be down? Stop. I'm streaming right now. You're gonna make me fucking turn off the stream. Okay?
Very conservative culture that expected me to become a housewife. But it turned out to be that I was a sex worker instead. I got to like escape that sort of life where I was working minimum wage jobs with not a lot of prospects. My family is not supportive of my professional choices. I'm definitely performing an immoral action in their eyes. I am degrading myself and my sexuality in their eyes. I associate it very strongly with freedom, like being able to have access to a lot of different choices to make a lot of money that I never would have had the opportunity to have before.
All sex work should be legalized in America.
From all the statistics I know of, like, let's say Australia, and this is from just the knowledge I've learned from that, apparently sex work has actually decriminalized a lot of places. So if you legalize all sex work, you kind of take away that human want in making it so it's just available if you want it. And also if you make it available.
That makes it legalization as opposed to decriminalization makes it inherently more exploitative, because then you have the McDonald's of sex work, and then it gets really, really fucking exploitative. And that's precisely why sex workers say decriminalization, not legalization. In places where sex work is legalized, like in Turkey, for example, you have government-run fucking brothels. And that has the capacity to be more exploitative than decriminalized sex work, which is still run by largely independent operators. You know what I mean? There's pros and cons to both. But centralized control, or rather full-blown legalization, brings in the power of big capital into sex work, and you're basically just, then you have fucking pimps, like McDonald's pimps. And that shit is not good, because then it goes to a very scary and awful place, because capitalism is inherently a coercive and inherently exploitative system, and it's an exploitative organization of the economy. So decriminalization keeps keeps a lack of alienation by giving more power to the individual sex worker. But then also, on top of that, legalization does offer some benefits like healthcare and you know, consistent safety checks in the form of like government mandated testing, shit like that. So there's pros and cons to it.
Available, just like prostitution, making that available. You have to make people go through screening. You have to make people get tested. So everyone's going to STDs might even go down.
There's a difference between decriminalizing sex work and legalizing it. Legalizing it means obviously the government's going to be into it. They're going to be able to set up health regulations, which can definitely help sex workers. Decriminalizing it just means that.
Bro, I literally said top of the hour, every hour, all this shit about like the ad break, and I forgot to run it again. I'm losing my fucking mind. Here, I'm running it now. By the way, that lady is based. Stop saying pre-watched. I know more than most of these people here about sex work. I literally am a political commentator who also talks about sex work a lot, okay?
You as a sex worker cannot be arrested for what you do. I personally don't believe that legalizing it is beneficial because even in those countries where it is legalized, it correlates to higher rates of sex trafficking. I know I'm not supposed. Yes, yes. And I would have thought that it wouldn't have been that way because otherwise I would have agreed with you. I would have said yes, it should be legalized because then we can have all these regulations in place to make it safer for sex workers.
But see, if you had a governmental body going through, just like if you went to a restaurant, there's an A on the door saying like food handlers, right? Then it would be, this is a building that is regulated. We have people coming through to make sure everyone coming through gets tested this many times. And you coming in, you have to be tested the day before to actually get checked in.
I guess that assumption is based on if everyone who is in sex work would go the legal route, because not everyone would. When there's government involvement, what does that mean? Taxes. Not everyone wants to have taxes. That's why in New Zealand it's decriminalized, but there are no regulations to keep anyone in that whole situation safe.
I was just on the disagree side because I don't think it should be legalized. I think it should be decriminalized. I don't want the government anywhere near sex work. I don't want the government controlling it, taxing it, making it to where they legalize.
That's the part of the sex work equation that like where sex workers kind of sound like fucking ANCAPs. For the record, where they're like, I don't want the government taxing sex work. It's like, hold on. I mean, you're still, you're still generating income. Like that's definitely taxable and should be taxable. Come on, let's keep it real here, folks. Okay. Like one of them, Ayala girl, is on Twitch. Nice. Bro, I'm subbed and just got hit with the ad break. Is it because I'm mobile? Well, you're not subbed currently, I don't think. Otherwise, it would show your sub badge.
It, but they're still going to put loopholes around that puts us in even more danger. I also think sex work should be decriminalized because as long as it's criminalized, we're at the mercy of the cops, and the cops are the biggest threat to female sex workers specifically. Almost every female sex worker I know who's had an encounter with the cops has been raped by the cops.
Sex is the ultimate form of intimacy.
Ayala is a white supremacist. Stop platforming her, Lamau. First of all, I don't know that. What the fuck? How am I supposed to know everything about like random sex workers that are on my fucking screen? What? Don't get mad at me. Get mad at fucking Jubilee then, dumbass.
Whenever I do have sex that first time, I just don't want anyone else other than my husband to ever see me in that.
A yellow girl said, maybe catcalling isn't that bad. Oh, I know who this is. Oh my God. I think we've like looked at her. Wait, fuck. Didn't we look at her like the study that she posted or something? Maybe catcalling isn't that bad. Maybe the demonizing of catcalling is actually racist since most men who catcall are black. Wait, what? So she's pro catcalling, which is unconsensual sexual contact with random people that you did not consent to, and then simultaneously saying it's actually only black people that do catcalling? What the fuck? That is like a double whammy, dude. I've never heard this one before, but that is a cataclysmically bad take. Yes, catcalling is sexual harassment. Chatters who are like, what do you mean sexual contact? Rolled a nat 20 on the bad take. Yeah, straight up. She hit it from both angles, dude. I just like, not to self-report here, but like, I feel like anytime someone says, people are going to get so mad at me. Fuck it, I'm going to say it. Anytime someone says catcalling is exclusively done by black people, you're just like, have you never been around like Italians, Turkish people, Persian people, other kinds of white people? Like, what do you, the fuck do you mean is like exclusively done by black people? Maybe you're the one who's only seeing it as like a negative thing if it's done by a black person or something. It's just like a thing that men do because we live in a patriarchal society and men think that that is like an appropriate way to establish contact with random women. This is literally a get fiscal tweet. You know? People that say like catcalling is only done by black people have not been on Twitter, which is ironic because this person is posting this bad take on Twitter where every week there's like this fat ass Instagram lady is like grabbing a bag of Doritos. How do you open? Like, you think it's all black people that are writing in the quote tweets? Like, like, it's not. How do you open? Oh, Jesus Christ. Ayala girl did a fucking survey result for, wait, what is this? NSFW. What's your definition of racism? Thank you so much for helping. Given your work, I would assume the large majority of your audience is composed of straight males. Assuming this is true, do you think your survey had enough variety to get an accurate assessment? I don't even want to look at this. This is NSFW? Okay, this is dangerous.
Vulnerable state is too precious to me, and how can you get more, at least physically intimate than that? You can get more emotionally intimate, I'm sure, but
yeah, that intimacy with someone else. And it's crazy because we're waiting for that, you know?
Are you fucking joking? Oh, dude, she's like, she can't stop. Okay, this is a target-rich environment, folks. Have you considered that people who get rich are just better than you? Obviously, other factors are at play too. Okay, hold up. But anybody who's launched themselves up a tier in wealth usually are brilliant, bold risk takers, work super hard, and create way more value for the world than you do. Woo! That is fucking bananas. Okay? I sit on my ass half the days playing video games and watching YouTube. I get tired after going outside like once. My house is messy. I poop like twice a week. And because of this, I do not produce a ton of value for those around me and do not deserve to be ultra rich. Oh my. Yo, average. This is your brain on libertarianism, bro. I swear to God. Dude, that's like every ANCAP is like this. They're cucks. You're kink shaming. When you fucking say that like meritocracy is a lie, you're technically kink shaming ANCAPs, okay? They love to fucking lick the boot, and that's fucked up. This is every dissenter in my chat, okay? If you come in to the Hasanabi broadcast and you say dumbass bullshit like, actually capitalism is the best system ever produced and like blah, 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 like you deserve, you know, well, they don't say you deserve your level of wealth or anything, but like they try to like avoid saying that while simultaneously saying or try to match it by saying I'm a grifter and I like somehow got to this level by like lying and conning. So in order to maintain the integrity of the system that they're defending while they're making like $25,000 a year bagging fucking groceries, you are this person. She's an Elon simp? Of course she is. I'm actually surprised I haven't been blocked. I block anybody who refers to someone's race with derogatory implications regardless of race, deliberately, aggressively misgenders transgender people, is mocking, condescending, any straightforward insults. I almost never block disagreements that don't involve the above. Okay, that's not bad. Except this means like she's blocking people that say the C word for sure. Some people's brains are just better than others in the sense of being constructed in a way that betters more people's lives. No shit, they end up being more vibrant creators in the world with more successful lives. Oh my God. Regardless of race can literally only mean racist towards white people. Yeah, that's true. You never ever have to specify regardless of race unless you mean white people. Okay? Like, just, you know, don't be racist would be fine. Regardless of race is only almost 30K viewers. Kek. What the fuck is this? Are you okay, bro? Are you good, homie? The only other thing he's ever said is install Razer Synapse Legacy. It's the original software. No bullshit. Miss kids love doing analytics on the platform more than the streamers themselves.
No, we're waiting for that and wondering what that's going to be like.
As a nurse, I've seen, 94-year-olds in the hospital, and just like the intimate relationship that they've had with their spouse still carries forward. Like, people who are quadriplegic, people who no longer can speak, who are more nonverbal, just seeing the dedication day after day, like their visitors, their family members coming in. It's just really nice to see that you can have a circle of different types of intimacy with companionship and the trusting relationship and the physical part of it.
Intimacy is moments in time, moments between people. I've had intimate moments, like I had an intimate moment with you today. Now, was it the most intimate thing I've ever
Damn, what the fuck did he do to the virgin guy? Maybe he should step out of the way of the virgin side of the convo. You know what I'm saying?
No. So I think those moments where you're there with someone willing to die for that person is way more intimate than anything you can find sexually, because sex is something that's going to happen when you guys start having sex and start being in there with your partner. It's like you want that to last forever. You want that moment, but it's not the thing you would die for. God, you would die for God. That's an intimate thing. That sexual moment is not. You would die for her for other reasons, not for sex.
That was good.
Bye.
See, this is why this was like not a very contentious Jubilee. Okay? The reason why this was not a contentious Jubilee is because virgins and sex workers are not diametrically opposed to one another. You literally can be a virgin sex worker. It's just people who hate sex work. Swerves and sex workers are diametrically opposed to one another. So it was kind of a silly one for them to fucking put together like this. They did pastors and sex workers a few days ago. That's in 15th of August 2018, dude.